Well, President Trump says his administration could have a, quote, softer touch on immigration enforcement operations. His comments come as Border Czar Tom Homan announces a drawdown of federal agents in Minnesota, where state and government officials have clashed over the tactics used in the wake of those two deadly officer-involved shootings of U.S. citizens. Correspondent Libby Dean is live at the White House with more. So, Libby, what happens now?
Well, a tone shift, Nichole. President Trump striking that noticeably different tone on immigration enforcement following those fatal shootings that we saw happen in Minnesota. And what we're seeing is this shift come as President Trump is pulling back on the amount of immigration officers in Minnesota. And also we're seeing this polling come out that shows a majority of Americans don't approve of some of that recent enforcement actions by the Trump administration. And actually, the president this morning at a prayer breakfast still bringing up these challenges that his administration says it's facing when working with local officials in Minnesota, despite the fact that Tom Homan is on the ground there now. Let's take a listen to the president.
Sometimes we can't work with them. Like in Minnesota, they won't work with us, but we've still driven crime down 25%. If we didn't have to fight this horrible governor and this horrible fake mayor, Fry, you know, this is the Constitution of the United States. People don't want to be mugged. They don't want to have a murderer living next door that was, you know, killed 3 people in a certain country and is now living beautifully here.
So that poll I mentioned, this new Quinnipiac poll showing a majority, 63% of Americans do not approve of the way ICE is enforcing immigration laws. 34% do approve, and that's pretty major reversal there that you're taking a look at on your screen. We're seeing also 60% think that the Trump administration is being too harsh in its treatment of undocumented immigrants. Now, the president disclosing it was his idea to reduce the number of federal law enforcement officers on the ground in Minneapolis. Tom Homan making that announcement. And that, of course, an effort to cool tensions, and also the reason that Homan was sent there to Minnesota in the first place. And we saw that change in leadership. But what we're seeing, Nichole, is the president strike this softer tone, but not back away from this overall immigration enforcement and the mission by his administration, given, of course, Nichole, the president won the election on immigration enforcement and that shift that he wanted to see. So despite that polling, the president repeatedly saying that he believes voters gave him that mandate to pursue these mass deportations. So that continues despite these changes that we're seeing on the ground in Minnesota with those officers, some of those officers, at least, Nichole, being pulled out of Minnesota.
Yeah, some of them. All right. So, Libby, there was also this fight over Homeland Security funding overall in the wake of the shootings and the protests there. We saw the partial government shutdown. Where does that funding fight stand?
Yes, some developments late last night, Nichole, that have really followed into this morning. We saw Democratic leadership send over their list of demands that they want to see made at the Department of Homeland Security as this funding fight does continue over on Capitol Hill. But the majority of those 10 demands from Democrats are pretty much non-starters for Republicans that we've been speaking with and hearing from. And that funding, of course, for DHS, we saw that stopgap bill pass. That runs out next Friday. Here's a look at that list of demands from Democrats. It's a 10-point list. It includes officers wearing an ID number with their last name is one of those requirements. Also that they do not wear masks when they're in the field. Now, Jeffries and Schumer, who are the ones who sent this letter to House Speaker Mike Johnson and Senate Leader Thune, they're arguing that immigration operations not be conducted also near sensitive locations like schools and churches. So quite a few demands there. And Republicans, we're hearing them respond as this was put out late last night. We're hearing them respond throughout the day today, pretty much saying this is a non-starter. Let's take a listen to one of them.
The minority leader just said Republicans are calling the demands political. Well, I see them as radical and extreme. This is about funding the Department of Homeland Security for our nation, keeping our nation safe.
So the negotiations over funding come, of course, as we were talking about, Nichole, after those 2 fatal shootings in Minnesota. And we've seen these Democrats put forward this list of demands and that change, actually. And this list of demands comes, of course, ahead of that deadline, that funding deadline, which is next Friday. As I mentioned, this is going to be a question heading into this press briefing as well at 2 this afternoon here at the White House, Nichole.
All right. Libby Dean live for us there in D.C. Libby, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.